I'm going to read you a headline that landed like a thunderclap in December 1925. A wealthy New York heir, old money, old name, had tried to erase his marriage in court, and after hours of deliberation, the jury delivered a verdict that stunned polite society: no deceit. But to understand why this case became a national obsession, we have to go back to the part nobody wanted printed in the first place, a romance that started quietly and ended in front of cameras. Leonard Kip Rhinelander wasn't just rich. He was born into a family name that meant New York, the kind of money that doesn't announce itself because it doesn't have to. Alice Jones came from a completely different world, working-class Westchester County, the daughter of English immigrants, her background and her social circle miles away from Fifth Avenue expectations. And in the early 1920s, that difference, class and race, as people defined it then, could swallow a life whole. According to later reporting and court discussion, Kip and Alice's relationship began years before the marriage. Kip's family attempted to separate them, sending him away, putting distance between the two. But relationships don't always break just because powerful people demand it. Somewhere between private letters, short reunions, and stubborn affection, they kept going. On October 14, 1924, they married in a civil ceremony at New Rochelle City Hall. The paperwork listed both as white, a detail that later became gasoline on the fire. They tried to build a small, ordinary household, furniture, an apartment, plans, but ordinary is hard when a family fortune comes with an unwritten rule book. Marry inside the circle or lose everything. Then the press got wind of it. Reporters dug into Alice's family background, and the whispers turned into print. A wealthy dynasty faced a public fact it couldn't privately manage. Their heir had married a woman the social world did not want beside the Rhinelander name. And soon came the pressure that always arrives in these stories: inheritance, reputation, and lawyers. Kip's side went to court seeking an annulment, arguing that Alice had deceived him about her race. Alice's side argued the opposite, that Kip knew exactly who she was, and that the case was about social panic, not fraud. The legal question sounds simple. Was there deception? But the real question underneath was darker. Who gets to be considered white, and who gets punished when society changes its mind? The trial opened in White Plains, New York, and it became a national spectacle. Crowds, headlines, daily recaps. The jury was all white and all male, and the courtroom became a stage where class anxiety and racial paranoia were performed as evidence. Kip's lawyers painted him as naive, controlled, almost childlike, someone tricked into marriage. Alice's lawyers went straight at the core claim. If there was intimacy, if there were letters, if there was time, then how could he not have known? And then came the moment that made this case infamous. To argue that Alice's appearance made her background obvious, the court allowed a humiliating demonstration in private chambers. Alice was asked to show parts of her body so jurors could judge her skin tone for themselves. I'm not going to sensationalize that, but I want you to sit with what it means. A marriage on trial, reduced to a jury's inspection of someone's body, as if identity could be proven like a stain on fabric. This wasn't just a courtroom. It was a machine built to protect a social boundary. The public couldn't look away, and the media circus generated its own chaos. Rumours, pressure, and even reports that a grand jury examined claims related to jury tampering, ultimately deciding not to act. The point is, this wasn't a quiet family dispute anymore. It was a national argument about race, respectability, and who the law would protect when wealth felt threatened. In early December, the jury reached a decision. Multiple papers reported the outcome plainly. Alice Jones Rhinelander was found guiltless of deceit, meaning the annulment claim failed. Imagine the shockwaves. In a decade obsessed with status, with who belongs, with who could pass through which door, 12 jurors had just told one of New York's oldest families the marriage stands. The Rhinelander case keeps resurfacing because it exposes how fragile these categories were and how violently society defended them. It also shows the power of publicity. A marriage that might have ended quietly became impossible to contain once it turned into a story. And notice how the language worked. The suit framed love as fraud, and identity as something a wealthy man could claim he misunderstood. After pressure, after threats, after inheritance became a weapon. In this folder, the papers call it scandal. In court, they called it deceit. But beneath both words is a simpler truth. When people crossed a line society drew, society tried to redraw reality. Next time, we open a different file. Another wealthy family, another marriage, and a romance that collided with class in the most dramatic way. Until then, keep your eyes on the headlines. They often reveal what people were most afraid to say out loud.